Welcome to Life Recovery Today with Stephen Arterburn. In the next half hour, you'll obtain insights and tools to transform your life using the biblical principles found in the 12-step program. We believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience because we all have struggles in life. Struggles with addictions, food, depression, anxiety, and relationships, to name a few. You'll be encouraged to see how others have found a new way of life with hope for the future through life recovery. Your host is Steve Arterburn, founder of New Life Ministries and Women of Faith, author of over 100 books, and a sought-after speaker and teacher. Steve is the co-editor of the Life Recovery Bible, the #1 selling recovery Bible. With over 3 million copies sold, this is the Bible given to inmates by Prison Fellowship and the Pew Bible for the Salvation Army. Now here's Steve.
Hi there, Steve Arterburn here. Welcome to Life Recovery Today. Today we're going to be talking about that old fourth step, which, we've been going through all 12 of them, and here we are at number 4. Now, we've heard from counselors, coaches, life recovery group leaders from all across the country. And today we're going to hear from a different person, Eric Thomas. Now, Eric is a marriage and family therapist, and he's a trauma specialist. And he works at our Every Men's Battle workshop, been doing that, and he helps people kind of work through recovery. It really is not knowing the 12 steps, it's working through each step that's so important. And step 4, well, it's really challenging because it's taking a moral inventory, a searching moral inventory. And some people miss this when they talk about their moral inventory. They miss the fact that when you're doing a moral inventory, you can include things where you're strong morally. And it's not just about where you've fallen short, although that's a big part of it. In this fourth step, you're looking at things that you've done, why, like defects of character, what we call them. But here's the other thing. It's a good time to kind of think about when you've been hurt by somebody else. Let me tell you why. Because you got to ask yourself, how did I handle that? What did I do? What was my reaction? What was my response? But that doesn't mean you're going to take responsibility for when someone hurt you, but you're going to use that as a way to see why maybe some things happened that felt like they were out of control. You were hurt. You were traumatized. That could be the reason. So in this last time working the step 4, I really looked at this one incident where I had been betrayed, and I had been deceived and hurt. And then I looked at my reaction to that. Was I a godly man in reacting to that? Well, I got to tell you, I don't think so. Because I stuck with the anger, the bitterness, disappointment, all of that. I stuck with that much, much too long. Then the other thing that you do in that fourth step is you see, did I have any part in that? Like when a person gets a divorce, you have no part in the divorce. That's their choice. If somebody has an affair, you didn't cause that affair. You might have caused some problems, but you didn't choose or force somebody to have an affair. So we don't want to be or accept responsibility for things that we do not need to be responsible for. Step 4 leads us to thinking in the past. Where have things gone wrong? What have I done that only a person who was dishonest, deceptive, immoral would do? That's not easy to look at. So I hope and pray that as we're looking here and Eric's speaking, that you're going to look at some details in your own life. Don't beat yourself up, but you sure would like to know, here are some areas that I need to work on, these defects of character. Let's listen to Eric.
Step 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. The simplest explanation of step 4 is that it is exploring the root causes of your addiction. To make a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves is to uncover deep secrets that have kept you trapped in a cycle of shame and addiction. We have to uncover the problems in our life to see and accept how they have affected us. The title, Searching and Fearless Moral Inventory, alerts us to the fact that this is a process that invokes feelings of fear and shame. But do not let these fears stop you from being honest with yourself as you examine your life, your addictions, and your behaviors. In step 4, I help my client explore resentments. We use the formula from AA. We make a list of resentments, the people, the places, the things, the institutions, the ideas, the principles with whom you are angry, resentful, feel hurt, or threatened by. We identify what happened in each area that led them to be angry and resentful. We want to be specific. We want to make sure that we don't get hung up on any type of roadblocks, psychology, theology, ideology that blocks us from identifying the sources of our anger and resentment. That means we may have to write down our church, our pastor, our grandfather. We want to understand, how did the resentments affect the self? We take a look at the 7 parts of self. Self-esteem, how you think of yourself. Pride, how you think others view you. Pocketbook, your desire for money, property, and possessions. Personal relations, your relations with other people. Ambition, your goals, your plans, and your designs for the future. Emotional security, your general sense of well-being. And sex relations, your basic sex drive, sexual intimacy. We also take a look, while we're doing resentments, we take a look at, where were you to blame? We explore, what's the truth here? Where was my responsibility in this relationship? What might you have done instead? Where were you at fault? We then make a list of fears, things that have kept you afraid. We write about each fear and discuss why you have each fear. Then we want to take a look at, how has fear kept you self-reliant? And then how does that self-reliance failed you? Then once again, we're going to bring it back to personal accountability. Harm done to others. Who did I hurt? You're going to list each thing that you did to each person. Explore, what should you have done instead? Why does this process fall where it does? Making a searching, fearless inventory of ourselves is one of the most challenging and bravest things we will ever do in our lifetime. It's not fun. It's not just some random activity. It's not like somebody would wake up on a Saturday morning and say, oh, there's no football on. Why don't I make a searching and fearless moral inventory of myself? That'll be fun. We don't do that. We might be willing to make one for others, but not for ourselves. So we're going to talk about why it falls where it does in the steps. It falls after we admitted we were powerless over alcohol and that our lives had become unmanageable. Step one. It also falls after and came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Step two. And it also comes after made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to God as we understood Him. Now we are ready to do a searching and fearless moral inventory. And it comes before admitted to God, ourselves, and another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. So step 4 is preparation for step 5. First, we make a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. And then we're ready to admit to God, ourselves, and another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. How do you know when you've completed the step and are ready to move on? In my office, with the people I walk through step 4 with, they are ready to move on when new stuff stops coming up. I like to say that the brain is made up of tiny safes. And once we decode and open one safe, we thoroughly review the memories, the information that have been locked away. As we empty one safe, right, the next one is automatically decoded and opened. You have completed the step when your list is complete and we have talked through each list and no other safes are opened up. No information comes up, no new information. Then we say, okay, we're ready to move on. Now, what are some things people get hung up on? Some common things people get hung up on could be seeing things through a trauma lens. As a trauma therapist, I'm aware how trauma often leads to addictions. Some people start abusing substances, sex, and other things as a method of coping with trauma. Not everyone, some people. So if you have a trauma lens, it makes it difficult to see yourself with clarity. I help people work through that. Spiritualizing, or as I like to call it, speaking Christianese. God got me. I don't have to make a list. The Lord knows. I put it on His tab. He paid the price for it all. I don't need to make a list. This is an over-focus on God's redemptive power at the wrong time in the treatment process. God's power, His redemptive power remains evident, but your recovery depends on your ability to complete steps 1 through 12. God's going to do His part. You must do yours. Other things, fear. People get hung up on fear, pride, resentment, anger, self-will. I'm not going to claim it. Because if I claim it, can't blame it. Guilt and shame. And once again, trauma and abuse. These are things that people get hung up on in step 4.
Are you going through your struggles alone? Do you want someone to talk to help you through your pain? Do you feel like a failure when you relapse again, telling yourself, next time will be different? Don't walk this path alone anymore. Join a life recovery group today and be a person that your friends and family can be proud of. God created us to be in community, and we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country, and if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. Life Recovery brings recovery to you, right where you are. You'll take a journey with others to find healing and freedom. Whether you're looking to join a group or start one, New Life Ministries is here for you. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE or visit liferecoverytoday.net. Life recovery isn't just about making the courageous choice to give up an addiction or dependency. It's a journey towards health, wholeness, and becoming your very best you. If you need resources to help you in your journey, we can help. There are many life recovery resources that you can do on your own, with a group, or with your church. We have Bibles, workbooks, and devotionals that you can use to work your recovery right where you are. That's the beauty of life recovery. To learn more or to get the Life Recovery Bible or any other life recovery resource, visit liferecoverytoday.net or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. It's hard to find a trusted friend when you're in crisis. Someone who's been there and understands, but who also has the training and skill to give you practical help. Family, friends, and churches want to help, but often they're not equipped to care for those dealing with problems like addiction and pornography, infidelity, anger, depression. New Life Ministries is here to provide help and hope in life's hardest places. We're not focused on making people feel better. We're focused on helping people do the work that will help them be better. At New Life, we have resources available to help you, like books, DVDs, CDs, workshops, and our network of licensed counselors. If you need help, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and begin your new life today.
Welcome back. Eric provided some great questions to think about. And all of us, the more we question, the deeper we start to think, the better this inventory is going to be. Now, it's interesting that if we focus on everybody else, well, we can make their lists for them. That's pretty easy, but that's not what this is about. Staying on our side of the street, doing our own inventory. I'm just wondering, if you're ready to take this step in your recovery, and in so doing, maybe you unlock the hidden things of the heart. Boy, that would be amazing. Stuff down in there that's never been dealt with, and because you do such a fearless and searching inventory, you see things you've never seen before. Well, I want to continue to explore the value of this step with Eric. And I got to tell you, a lot of people never ever do this step and never go past it. Don't be one of those.
I often remind my clients that fixing ourselves and moving into recovery requires a level of personal honesty that most people cannot tolerate. There will be resistance from others that you might encounter. One form of resistance is rescuer resistance. These are people that see mostly the good in you and don't want to see you define yourself on any list in a way that sounds negative. Help them to put their cape away and share minimally with them during this process. Then there's the codependent. These are people that are caught up in you, your life, and experience in a way that shapes their own identity. The person that enables the addicted person by giving them money is not going to have a good time with you identifying yourself as a manipulator. They're also going to have a hard time with you changing some of your addicted ways, because the way their psychology works is they get something out of being connected to people that have addictions. The same person that will bring extra large pizzas and ice cream to the food addicted person that's in recovery, for the purpose of maintaining a special connection, bond, friendship with this person, may be codependent and may give some resistance. Then there's the spiritual healer. All you need is God. You don't need AA. As long as I got King Jesus, I don't need nobody else. I don't need AA. I don't need no sponsor. I don't need a counselor. I don't need no PhD. As long as I have God. There are people, spiritual healers, who say they've received spiritual healing and don't think that you need to go through your process. That's their process. Stay on track with your process. Then there's the white knuckler. The white knuckler. The one who just holds on for dear life and fights their way through sobriety without using any resources, asking for help, or any vulnerability. I call these people the Sinatra. I did it my way. My advice is to let them do it their way. Stay on your path and walk through your steps of recovery. And then there's the FOMO people, fear of missing out. Friends who are nervous that you're going to change and not be yourself again. Once a person does a searching and fearless moral inventory, they are essentially too deep to go fully back to the way they were. Therefore, you feel different to them. So, yes, you will encounter some resistance because people have benefited from you being the way that you were, or you going through your recovery process challenges the way they are trying to fix their problems. What will be the hardest part of this step? The hardest part of this step is truly taking a look at yourself and taking responsibility for your actions. This is really hard. From my experience with clients, the second hardest thing is the depression or the anxiety that results from the self knowledge obtained. You're going to get a really detailed list of things that you have done that have harmed others. You're going to make a list, things, places, people, institutions that have brought out resentment in you. You're going to take a look at how you responded to all those things. And then you're going to ultimately come to, how could I have done things differently? And that does bring some grief. It does bring some grief. In my practice, we work through that. We work through that, definitely. Will you ever have to repeat this step? I'm going to give you the answer that I despise most in the world. It depends. I do not like that answer. I like yes or no. Feel like God just wants to kind of spit me out of his mouth. Like Book of Revelation says, I wish you were hot or cold, because you are lukewarm. I spit you out of my mouth. On this question, I have no choice but to be lukewarm. It depends. How thorough were you in step 4? Are you preparing to do another step 5? Are you starting the recovery process over? Ultimately, I refer people back to their sponsors for definitive answers on whether they need to repeat a step or things that identify with the true mechanisms and walking through of their 12 steps. I'm here to support the process. I won't give that definitive answer. It's up to between you and your sponsor. Do you need extra support for this step? Well, yes. You definitely need a sponsor. You might need a counselor. This is a huge undertaking. Once again, taking a look at making a resentment inventory, taking a look at people, institutions, and principles that you've developed resentment for. creating a list of fears and a list of conduct done by you to others. So yes, you need some additional support. Is there a common time frame for completing the step? It is individualized. Step 4 is an individualized process. For some people, I've heard of people doing it in a couple of weeks. I would say that in my practice, we take at least 4 weeks with homework to walk through these steps, to complete the documentation paperwork that they come in with from their sponsor. So step 4 is a big process. Can it take more than 4 weeks? Absolutely. So there's no definitive time frame for it. It's finished when the client is finished.
Welcome back. Well, I hope that you recognize some of the challenges of becoming absolutely honest with ourselves, much less with other people. You know, in every recovery meeting that I've been in, they read some things, and one of the things they read is that it's pretty rare that somebody can't make it and recover by using the 12 steps. And they point to one thing that makes that possible: honesty. And it's not easy. If you've been lying all your life, pretty hard to switch back. But you can, just take some time. Now, the way that we recognize our resistance to total honesty, well, that's really valuable in step 4, because you might miss some things if you're still resisting taking a truthful and accurate look at your life. That's why some people connect with a recovery coach or a recovery group, maybe a counselor who is quite up to speed on recovery. But when you do that, you can begin the journey and you know you're headed the right direction, doing the things that need to be done, versus wondering, do I have it together? Is this really what I should be doing? Now, if you need somebody to help you work the steps, you need a recovery group, maybe you need to start a recovery group, well, Terry Ward will help you with that. All you have to do is call us and we'll help you get on your journey. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for inviting other people to watch. It means a lot. We're going to see you right here next time on Life Recovery Today. In the meantime, make somebody's day. It'll help your recovery.
Thanks for joining us for Life Recovery Today with Stephen Arterburn. We hope this program has helped you integrate God's truth and wisdom into your recovery journey. This program is brought to you by New Life Ministries, and it's your support that keeps this program on the air. When you contact us for any reason, be sure to let us know that you watch on NRB. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to liferecoverytoday.net. Please join us again next week for more Life Recovery Today.